What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, folks. And Biden's already trying to sabotage Donald Trump's presidency. And I knew this was going to happen. I predicted this a few weeks ago. As a matter of fact, if Trump gets reelected, Joe Biden's going to do everything he can to sabotage the Trump agenda. Congress was trying to do this as well. Check this out, y'all. Hours after Trump's election, Biden moved to limit oil drilling in Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. So that's what he's doing. That's your angle, right? Because Donald Trump's going to come in, and we need relief, folks. And one way to do that, the easiest and most apparent way to do that, is increase oil production. Because if we're a net exporter of oil and gas, natural gas, coal, all that good stuff, if we're an exporter of that, that means we're making money off of that. That means the cost of oil goes down. And if the cost of oil goes down, what does that mean, folks? The cost of transportation goes down. And what does that mean? If the cost of transportation goes down, that means the cost of transporting goods goes down. Therefore, the cost of those goods goes down. It makes everything cheaper. And we need relief. We need cheaper prices. We need increases in pay. We need the economy to start booming. We need inflation to come back down, which that will also help with inflation. These people and their stupid climate agenda gets in the way of actually, solid governing. Yeah, Biden's climate agenda has damaged this country because he's put hundreds of billions of dollars into the climate agenda and has had zero results, almost no results, because most of that billions of dollars, a lot of that is getting tied up in litigation and all kinds of other stuff, right? Like the infrastructure program hasn't even got started yet for the most part. I mean, they were supposed to build a bunch of electric car power stations, power stations, essentially. And they spent, $9 billion and only built 3 so far? Now, I know a lot of that's tied up in contracts, and they're supposed to build 500. But they've spent a lot of money and haven't had any results yet. It's just absurd, folks. These people don't understand what governing is. They don't understand how to govern effectively and efficiently. The climate agenda will destroy this country because we can never get to that climate agenda currently. The technology is way too new, it's way too in its infancy, and it's way too expensive. Well, let's get into it, though. Hours after former President-elect, you mean CNN, was elected the winner of the 2024 election, the Biden administration moved Wednesday to limit oil drilling in Alaska's Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. Oil drilling has been banned for decades in the Arctic Refuge, a pristine natural region in northeast Alaska, home to a wide range of threatened species. Oh, they're going to kill the birds. No, they're not. I am sorry. Wildlife adapts, folks. And as a matter of fact, the EPA will ensure that these species that are threatened will have an environment to live in. Right? Oil drilling doesn't take up that much room, as a matter of fact. And they have impact, environmental impact studies. Let me tell you guys a story right quick from a LNG plant. We went and installed a bunch of windows down in the south. One of the operators was telling us that anytime a certain bird, an endangered bird, lands anywhere in the plant, they have to shut down that section of plant and wait for it. They can't shoo it away. They have to shut down so they don't injure that bird. And they have to wait until it goes away. If it builds a nest, good luck. They have to call in a specialist team to come and move the nest somewhere else. And then they can fire the plant back up. That's absurd, y'all. That's outright absurd. Just shoo it away, for crying out loud. But this is what they have to do. And it costs billions of dollars if that happens. Yeah, into the billions it can cost. Or they lose. It doesn't really cost that much. They just lose that much. And it shuts down production. And it's just a really, really big hassle for no payoff whatsoever. No payoff at all. But a law passed during the first Trump administration required the federal government to hold 2 lease sales there for fossil fuel drilling. The first was in 2021 and was ultimately suspended and canceled by the Interior Department because of the lack of interest from the oil industry. Now, this was something I covered a while back when Joe Biden comes out and addresses the accusation that the Biden administration's not leasing any federal lands for oil drilling. He comes out and says, oh, we got all these leases. There's 9,000 leases. And then you go and look into this and come to find out all the leases, they had to parse through and find these specific leases that have already been explored, and there's no oil there. So that's like ridiculous. That's like selling you a car that doesn't have an engine. What are you going to do with that? You can't do anything with that if you need transportation in the immediate. Right? If you're a mechanic, that's one thing. But, in this instance, yeah, you can't just put oil somewhere. It's ridiculous, folks. But that's what the Biden administration, that's how they lie to you. That's how they try to lie for the cause, I guess, for their climate agenda. The Trump-era law required the second lease sale to be held before the end of 2024. The Biden administration signaled Wednesday it plans to move forward with a 400,000-acre auction, the lowest acreage it could legally offer. Leave it to the Biden administration to do the bare minimum. Bare freaking minimum. It's one of the many ways the White House and administration are trying to protect some of Biden's biggest accomplishments while president, including his vast portfolio of action on climate change and the environment. Now, some of the stuff that Joe Biden has done has been pretty good. It's been really good. Like mandating all federal vehicles be electric. That's a good idea. I don't see a problem with that. However, when it comes to the standard everyday run-of-the-mill consumer, yeah, no. Your mandate's got to go, buddy. And that's something Trump has said that he's gonna executive order that away. Yeah, you're no longer by 2035 going to be required to buy an electric vehicle. That's ridiculous, folks. That car industry is still in its infancy, essentially. I mean, it's getting there. It's a toddler. We'll put it that way. It's toddlerized. It's getting there. We don't have the infrastructure yet. That's going to take decades to get the infrastructure needed to make all cars in the U.S. electric. It's ridiculous, folks. But that's what these people try to do. They don't care about your comfort at all. At all. Because Joe Biden mandated that coal-fired power plants be shut down if they don't install technology that's not fully developed yet. That's absurd. That's outright absurd. What are you going to do? Knock these people back to the mid-1800s for crying out loud? You're going to make millions of Americans go without electricity because there's no backup plan for that. That's something else Trump is going to come in and undo. He's just going to throw it in the freaking garbage can because that's what it is. It's garbage policy that's only meant to hurt this country. I understand climate religion. I understand we need to be better stewards of the planet. But that takes time. We need to innovate our way to it. We have a lot more time than you think. The world isn't going to end in 10 years. We're not going to get past a line in the sand with the climate that we can never come back from. I'm sorry. That's not how planetary environments work. They don't work like that, folks. They are very dynamic and can be altered as a matter of fact. ANWR's oil reserves are most often mentioned by Trump in campaign rallies, as the president-elect has talked about opening parts of Alaska to oil drilling, or liquid gold as Trump frequently calls it. Although President Joe Biden approved the major new Willow oil drilling project on Alaska's North Slope, his administration has also put in protections for a vast amount of Alaskan wilderness, trying to limit drilling in other regions. They have more oil than anywhere else in the world up in Alaska. Wednesday's move generated mixed feelings. Mixed feelings. Today's action by the Biden administration better protects the Arctic refuge, and for that we are grateful, said Kristen Miller, executive director of Alaska Wilderness League. The fight to save the Arctic refuge is back, and we are ready for the next 4 years. But some Alaska Native groups said the move would hurt the local economy, which is highly dependent on revenue from oil drilling. That is right, and that's one thing why I rail so hard against Joe Biden's climate agenda, because he does it, his entire climate agenda flies in the face of the people that are being impacted by his climate agenda, for crying out loud. Like I said about the power plants, the coal-fired stations, there was no plan whatsoever to replace those with nuclear, natural gas, anything. He didn't offer none of these people in these areas solar power or wind power farms or anything. It's just install this technology by 2032 or shut the plant down. That's what his mandate was. That is absurd. You're going to put that many people just out of electricity? Have you ever been in the middle of a hurricane, or, in the aftermath of a hurricane, and not had electricity? Yeah, down here in southwest Louisiana, because generally when hurricanes come through, it's summertime, and it's hot, and it's miserable. And it's, you can't just go to the store and get groceries. You can't just go to McDonald's and get lunch. You have to boil the water. And that's really hard to do without electricity. You have to go outside literally and build a fire to boil water. Literally. That is right. That's not very fun. Not fun at all. And that's what Joe Biden is trying to do to this country. It's in the detriment of the country. Doesn't care about the people. These people are going to be impacted. And Joe Biden does not care. His climate agenda comes first. That is Joe Biden's God. He claims to be a Christian. Claims to be a Catholic. Absurd, if you ask me. That's outright absurd, if you ask me. It seems that once again the people of the North Slope are being told that our voices and lived experiences are insufficient, and that federal laws passed by Congress mean little in the eyes of Biden's administration. Department of Interior, North Slope Borough Mayor Josiah Pacatak said in a statement. Yep, I agree with that. Joe Biden doesn't care about those laws passed. Joe Biden doesn't care about most laws in this country. I've covered article after article after article of Joe Biden's administration violating federal law. It was very blatant with that southern border. But he violated Supreme Court orders. Look at the student loan debt relief plan. Supreme Court told him no. He said, okay, I'm going to do it this way. Supreme Court told him no. He said, I'm going to do it regardless of what you say. And so he did. He outright defied the Supreme Court. And then talk about Trump being an authoritarian. These people, they just lie. This is their playbook. Lie, 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 lie. Do it anyway. Fuck it. Who cares? It's just absurd when it comes to the Biden administration now. And hopefully Trump comes in and starts rectifying all this, fixing a lot of the damage that has been done by the Biden administration, because the country has been dealt a lot of damage by the Biden administration. And that's crazy to me, y'all. Just outright crazy. But I think I'm done on this one. Y'all don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. And y'all do me a favor and let me know what you think about all this down in the comments section. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. And y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.